one of the biggest regret I have in life is didn't finish college in the US. Things could have been so much different. When I was in Taiwan, I finished the first year in high school. It was a private school, so I spent 12 hours a day just in the school. My first year in the US, I was on exchange. The first class starts at 8:03 and then we got out at 3 p.m. and I was shocked. Like all the middle schoolers, they are driving themselves home. We still got things to do, right? All my friends did better on biology class, but chem class, they're, struggling. Me, on the other hand, I got over 90% on chemistry. That's like a sign to me that I should probably switch major and give it a try. It's actually overwhelming because there were so many experiences that a lot of people couldn't even experience once in their lifetime. Joining the cross-country team, being on a basketball team, watching people play volleyball together, all the stuff like that.
Welcome back to college. I'm your host, Zach Stevenson, and today in the classroom, we're joined by someone whose desire to live a life full of experience landed him in the US. He first came to South Dakota on exchange in middle school before deciding to finish the rest of his high school years in the US. After considering options to move to a bigger city, he saw his opportunity right in front of him and enrolled in Augustana University. Battling factors outside of his control, this person returned back to his country of origin just 1 year into his college journey. Becoming fed up with the university in Taiwan, this person changed his trajectory again and leaped into the workforce. Calling from Taiwan, please enjoy the conversation with Jerry. Jerry Chen, welcome back to college.
Thank you. I do feel that now.
You feeling good? Happy to be back?
Yeah, totally.
I think I'm looking forward to jumping back. We had a little bit of a chat this time last year, it would have been, when I was in Vietnam visiting my roommate Tom. We had a bit of a chat because I was very interested in coming to visit you in Taiwan. But a few things happened and unfortunately I didn't make it. So at least now we can sort of have a catch up to sort of bridge the gap. Hopefully I can come visit sometime soon.
Sounds great.
What do you remember about your time at Augustana?
Oh, so my time at Augustana, it's
What stands out to you as the highlights?
highlights. I would say all the nights I've been stayed up, and it's just crazy. Like as a chem major student, I think that's like a normal thing to do for every chem major students. But at the same time, I understand I'm from other country, which makes my first language not English, and I also understand that all the professions could be very different and hard at the same time, and we gotta respect everything we don't understand and just sometimes dig through the hard times, and that's all. Yeah.
Chemistry major is a bit of a tough one. I was originally a chemistry major before I even went to Augie, but I changed before I even got there because I thought, hang on a second, this might be a little bit challenging for me.
I know, it's really challenging. And first I went to Augie because of the biology major. I went there in biology, but I couldn't do it anymore. I was going after the med schools and become doctor, everything like that. But I think the first few months I just realized that medical school is probably not for me. I know it's gonna take like so many years of studying and all the what's that internship. I gotta be like an intern doctor and all that stuff. So I kind of give up on that. So I feel like I still kind of interested in the whole biology stuff. So I changed my mindset about being a doctor. So I just feel like maybe I can go chemistry and then do something related to biology. Probably at the moment I was trying to do the what's that called? medication, the for the medicine wise. And then so that's why I switched my major to chemistry.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get too stereotypical here, but coming from Taiwan, Asian culture
Mhm.
is. Would you say that for you growing up there was quite a bit of pressure to study lots, potentially go down med school, all that sort of route?
Absolutely. So, it can be a very long story, but you know, typical Asian country, they always have this kind of mindset that, you know, some um some jobs that ends up with 师, which means like, you know, it could be a teacher, it could be a lawyer, it could be a doctor. So these kind of jobs are normally um, viewed as like higher end of the, you know, society. So like older people, probably my either my parents or my grandparents, or you know, the people above them, they always think these kind of jobs have, you know, just they're higher end of the society. They controls everything.
So those are the ones that
So
you want then. Those are the ones that they really encourage you to pursue.
yep. So they always been telling the little kids that, you know, you gotta, you know, work harder, study harder to become either doctor, whatever jobs I mentioned. So they make more money, they, you know, get to know more people and stuff like that. But I think slowly this kind of changing because, you know, Gen Z is like getting older, and you know, there are more Gen Z in the society already, and we're kind of bringing different new ideas and the thoughts. So I think slowly changing, but back when I was a little kid, they've been telling me to, you know, study hard, you know, work hard, and if you don't do whatever thing, for example, I started studying English since when I was in kindergarten, and that was kind of early for people in Taiwan because normally they started it in the third grade, fourth grade in elementary school. So I got a head up for like three, nah, for around 4 years earlier. So that's probably why my English kind of okay compared to others. But I feel like that's a huge difference from me and others because my family, they had the resource to, you know, give me all the classes I was taking. And um, I I understand it's kind of struggling at the moment, but I do appreciate what they kind of forced me to do because I think that's what's right. And I understand how hard they pushed me, but you know, I wasn't happy at the moment, to be honest. But you know, look back from now, I'm just appreciate.
That's great. Well, as long as you don't resent your parents for being pushed into maybe doing
That's
some more
right.
studying, but it sounds like you had lots of great opportunities. Specifically for your parents, what did they see you doing in the future?
Honestly, this is a really tough question because I don't think my parents, they actually want me to do something. They want me to probably just be happy at what I'm doing. Like, so I do have some like, you know, uh, physical issues. For example, I sometimes have like a joint, uh, problem, which my immune system attack my joints, and that's gonna make me like having a real hard time. I could be waking up in the morning in the bed and, you know, couldn't move myself. But that's part of life. So I never really actually talked to my parents about, hey, what do you expect me to do in the future or anything. But from what they, uh, from that what they tell me, I can sort of tell that they just want me to be like, happy for what I'm doing and enjoy whatever things. Like for now, I'm working for my family, and I think they kind of get the point. I am not really happy doing all the stuff they tell me to do, but at the same time, it's like, I get time. I also have time to stick around with my family, and at the same time, I still like learning new abilities. So in the future, maybe I stick in this job, but maybe not. But either way, I'm gonna perform well, because what I'm doing now is kind of educating me for more abilities or different kind of experiences I'm going through. Yeah.
Absolutely. Would you say then that maybe your parents weren't as stereotypical Asian and they may be a little bit more lenient? And because it really seems like they've just sort of guided you, they've provided the opportunities, but not necessarily force you to do anything in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, just in fact, they didn't really be like those typical Asian parents, be like, you're gonna be a lawyer, you're gonna be a doctor. They kind of just only push me for, studying better. They didn't say be a doctor, be a lawyer. They want me to, study for better grades, and uh you know possibly I have a better grade so I can pick a better school in a better major, because the whole educational system in Taiwan is different from the US. Like, for example, if you trying to if you're trying to get in a school in the United States, and you basically just apply for it, and if the school takes you, and then you can, pick whatever major you want to study in, or it's more like that. You can pick whatever you want to do, and if you can apply to the major you want, you can still like transfer or stuff like that. But in Taiwan, you gotta have a good grades. So there's like a huge exam that all the students gotta take in high school. So based on that grades on the exam, and it's gonna decide. It's kind of like ACT, but ACT is part of the applying method. But in Taiwan, that's like the only way to, through exam, and then you'll be able to like pick school and pick for the major. So for example, there's like a school in Taiwan which is the best. It's like it's called NTU, National Taiwan University, and then the of course, being the medical students in there is gonna be like, the higher end of the
Top
of the
1%,
ecosystem.
the best of the
Yeah.
best.
So that's like the hardest one to get in, like either the school or the major. So
Did you go to that school?
nope,
Oh.
I wished. Yeah. So I think what my parents did, they sort of forced me to study because they want me to have they want me to have the chance to take choice. So once I have good grades, I can pick whatever I want, even though I don't want to be a doctor, even though I don't want to be a lawyer, whatever. But I had the decision to make. So that's what I thought.
It sounds like you have really great supportive parents.
Yeah, but at the moment I just didn't realize that. I feel like, why you pushing me so hard? I'm like, so for the middle school I went to, and also so I went to the US on the second year of high school.
Right, so how old were you then?
I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
I
did a
was
little
16
bit of,
turning 17.
I guess it's different because in America, high school is from,
4 years.
yeah, so year 9 through to 12, and then middle
Yeah.
school is sort of 7 to 9, I think it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Seven and 8, I think middle school is.
Yeah, so in Taiwan, middle school and high school, they're all 3 years. So in the States, middle school are 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And then the high school are 4 years. So it's either 6 years. And So that makes me a sophomore in Taiwan and junior and senior in the US. So I had 2 year high school in the US. But what I was saying was when I was in Taiwan, I finished the first year in high school, which is the sophomore year, which was the sophomore years. And the school was like, it was a private school. So I got to study really, really hard. And I spent 12 hours a day just in the school.
Are you
12.
serious? 12 hours
Yeah,
a day at that age?
from from 8 to sometimes 7:50, sometimes 8:30. So, it's around 12 hours like that.
My God, that's
And
more than a full-time job.
yeah, yeah, that's just, thinking from as a US students, it's crazy. Like I at first so my first year in the US, I was on exchange, and it's like I think it's like 8:03. The first class starts at 8:03, and then we got out at 3 p.m. something like that. And I was shocked. Like we still got things to do, right?
That must be
And then
that must have been an absolute breeze for you.
yeah, like people just been they just go around and head up to the gym, and then probably some students they head to the parking lot. And then another thing that shocked me was the all the middle schoolers, they are driving themselves home. I was like, they're just kids.
Yeah, well,
I was like,
out in the
no.
country, yeah. I mean, I think you can get your license quite maybe at
Yeah.
14. I think you can start driving.
Yeah. I think that's the tutor one or I forgot the words,
So
but
this is good. Do you want to talk a little bit more about what your schooling experience was like in Taiwan?
oh yeah. So we always have this half an hour thing in the morning. Half an hour? Yeah. Half an hour thing in the morning that we gotta study by like on our own. So either from they were thinking was that this half hour can helps you, concentrate a bit more, because in the morning probably on a rush to the school, the traffic, it could be crazy, and could be sleepy also. There's so many different things that kind of uh drag you apart from concentrating on studying. So this half hour, they were they were set here to help students concentrate more. But a lot of teachers, they just take this time and they want students to take more quiz and study for different kind of stuff. So we were supposed to study on our own, but we be taking quiz all the time. So that 30 morning, it's like it's killing every student in here. I was like having a really hard time doing all those 30 minutes quiz, because there could be one, there could be two, but you always gotta finish them. And I sort of had some syndrome for ADHD, so I couldn't really concentrate like
Especially that
on
early in
one
the
thing.
morning, first thing,
Yeah,
after you've
yeah, I
probably been running to class trying to get there on time.
yeah. So I couldn't really concentrate on one thing for like straight 30 minutes. I mean, the whole syndrome, it's gonna reduce the frequency that happens when you get older. But at the same time, I was 13, I was 12, something like that. So I couldn't understand. I kind of hate the whole system, but I do understand that somebody just ruined the system.
So you,
But
you weren't super
I,
academic. You didn't really like school that much.
not at all. I mean, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, but
Oh, you're
I
definitely not stupid by
I don't
by a
like
long shot.
study at all. Right? So what I could do, like at least, is listen to what teachers like saying in the class. But after class, if you want me to do more, I mean, I'll do a little bit, but not. I'm not a try hard on academic. Yeah.
Was there
So
anything else that was a little bit different being in high or middle school, I should say, in Taiwan as opposed to the US?
Yeah. So in the US, people go to different classes. Uh, I mean, people can take whatever chemistry or history based on what they want in the what criteria they're gonna make to graduate. But in Taiwan, school here are, you guys are in the whole class. For example, for the ninth graders, there are six classes, and then there's six different classes in the ninth grades. So we're so collective that the six classes, we all move as a unit. So for example, there the class 1, class 2, class 3 to class 6, and we'd be going to different kind of classes one
As
by
the one big group just shifting around.
Yeah. So it's not like different students have different schedule. Like the whole class had the same schedule as a unit. They go everywhere together as a whole class, but there are like 5 other classes doing the same thing, so they just switch around as a class.
And were you in a group of people who was studying a certain thing, or was that just a curriculum that was just the same across the board?
Curriculum there.
Everyone was doing the same thing. You were just in the same group.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
right.
it's like, I sort of like this style because, so it's so collective that you guys hang around all the time. So basically, the whole 12 hours, you guys gotta be, by each other. So if you're with your friends, good for you. You gotta, have lots of fun, lot of fun with them.
Because you're with them all the time.
Yeah. So, but it's gonna be another story if you're, in the same class with people you don't like. So there was this 2 years. So the first 2 years of my middle school, I was with my friends, but another really, really kind of annoying bully. He was on our in our class too.
Oh god.
So that's just like few of us, me and my friends, we're just kind of standing against through that bully. And it's like weird because I know we're doing kind of like bad thing because at the moment you should just be like telling the teacher that whatever the bully was doing, but we were just standing against him, which kind of I mean, we were doing the right thing, but some behavior could be a little bit different. Yeah, we'll be like standing like that'd be really weird as an Asian to do, like typical theory, like I mean the typical thinking of what Asian would do. We're just like, we don't throw chairs at each other. We just, slam on the table and be like, you should not be doing this. That's the way that we having an, conflict. We don't really like hit each other or stuff like that.
Was that different in the US?
I guess.
Or you didn't get into
some
many
crazy
fights
things
while you were there?
No. I am, I love peace.
Yeah.
I love peace.
You're a peacemaker, Jerry. We love it. So
yeah.
We've already teased it. We've talked about it a little bit already, but you moved to the US when you were starting high school. So how did that come about? Why did you move from Taiwan to the US?
Yeah, so before that, I gotta talk about my siblings first. So I have a brother and a sister, and they're both older than me, like 3-4 years. So back when I was still in middle school, they were, on their exchange also. So I think my brother, yeah, they both came to the US at certain points. My brother, he went to Washington State, not Washington DC. So he gotta wake up early at 6 or 7, and he gotta go feed the cows or the horses in the on the ranch.
Where is Washington State? Is that Oregon
it's
way?
Like the upper left on the corner. So it's like it's like very close to Canada.
Yeah,
I
so
think
that's Washington State, but Washington D.C. is where.
Washington D.C. is like on the upper right. I think not that high on
Yeah,
the
just below New York, I believe, and maybe even
yeah
Philadelphia.
yeah around that. So yeah, he's living that farming life, I guess. Because like he always shows the picture that he and his whole family what's that called? Um, it's like
His host
he
family.
and yeah his host family. It's like they always go out to fishing to whatever, a lake or a pond or river, whatever. They go there like camping and having beer. Yeah, it's like a bad a really bad thing to do on exchange because drinking age was 21, right?
Yeah, true. It gets bumped up for all of us international students
Uh-huh.
where we're so
And
used to 18 often, and for some even
yeah.
16.
Right. So here it's 18, but back at that time, I think he was 17. So that time he was like, getting drunk, having a whole bunch of beer, doing keg stand.
So did you see that and think, oh, this is sort of the
Pictures.
experience that I want?
Yep. Yep. I thought that's like everything. And then but I do understand there are 50 states of, 50 different states in the US. So all the different cultures, in the states could be unique.
So what was
And
that process of like for finding a place to go to?
I mean, I only do the part that applies. And for the rest of the thing, the organization and the US government, they figure out where in a country they got an empty spot for me, and they sort of do a roulette. So I don't really get to pick where I want to go. Yeah,
Right.
so I was assigned there. And yeah, like my brother, he was in Washington, and my sister, she was in Florida. So they're like upper left and the bottom right. So they're like so apart from
So
each
it's
other.
very
But
much, I'm thinking, Wheel of Fortune, just sort of spin the wheel, and
yep.
whatever state comes up, that's where you go
hmm
to. So where did you end up?
I ended up in South Dakota.
You did?
Yeah.
Great
So
faces, great places.
right, the Mount Rushmore. The trip to Mount Rushmore. That wasn't the first time I've been there. So I was like, okay, I've been this place. It's the second or third times I don't remember that, but still, great faces.
So what town were you in South Dakota?
I was in Beersford. It's like a small town, got like 2,000 population. I
Okay.
think, yeah, 2,000, I think.
And so you were
Yeah,
there for
and
how long on exchange?
for a whole school year.
Oh, right.
So,
That's a pretty long exchange.
mhm. Yeah, so I was there, I think on in August, and almost end of the August, because I think the school year started on probably November. But wait, not November, September, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
that's when it starts.
so yeah.
And what
I
was that
was
experience like for you?
Yeah, it's super weird because I never thought it could get that hot in the US. I thought it's gonna be like kind of chilly by the time there. But no, I was totally wrong. It's like so hot. Even sometimes when I'm in Taiwan, I feel hot, but that's normal because we're, surrounded by ocean and it's so humid. But it's also kind of hot, but it's kind of totally different weather there. But it's still hot, and I don't know. I just want to stay inside and get all the air conditioning. So yeah, I think at the moment it's like still in summer, and um by before I got here, me and my host family, we had a like few calls, and then just talking about how life gonna be here. And my my host family kind of asked what I do, like for for fun, or if there's any kind of clubs I want to join. And then
And
I'd
what
be
did you
like,
say? Did you say that I study 12 hours a day?
I did mention that, and it blew their minds off. Like, it's crazy, I think, to like people around the world, or sometimes even for you know people local Taiwanese here, because only private school does that. Yeah, so I told my host family that I like doing sports, probably play basketball, volleyball, stuff like that. And he also mentioned about running, so it's like track and field stuff. Another word for that is cross country, which is like a longer distance with different kind of landscapes. Yeah, so normally the people in the US do cross country. It's like competition for 3K to 6K in range, but we run in different kind of on concrete, on soil, on sands, or even in snow. Yeah, that's crazy for me at the moment. And
And so you joined the cross country team while you were there? I think I
yeah,
saw a
I did.
photo on your Instagram of you with the team.
Yeah, yeah. That's like one of the greatest moment in high school, I think, because it kind of tears me apart. As a student, I was trying to, I try to join the whole American student thing. Like I try to um understand everything, but there's still limits for a um for people from different for a person from another country, like whole different culture. Yeah, but I tried my best, which didn't work out very well. But through cross country, I feel like I learned something because even though you try your best, you might not get the outcome you want. But it it did help. It did help a lot. Just I at the moment I didn't realize that. It helped me through like socializing or communicating with my coach, and also it helps me to be more responsible for what I should be as a student. So whenever we're having practice, basically, sometimes it's like before school started, but sometimes most of the time it's like after school. So after classes, people head into the gym or to the track. So it's like for practice for around 3 hours. But people could be lazy and be like, hey, I will also I don't I also got other things to do, and find an excuse to leave for practice early. So there could be other different kind of circumstances, but I understand that if you don't try harder, if you don't practice like it's in a real game, you're not gonna get a good outcome.
That's great that you found sort of an outlet and kind of a rock, a foundation that would have seemingly guided you a little bit more, grounded you while you were sort of making this transition to the US. What kind of culture shock did you have when you moved on exchange to the US?
One of the culture shock is I think everything is so different. Like everything.
Like what specifics?
For example, the locker. So there are like a lot of whole boxes. I don't know, different lockers on the on the hallway, and then I don't know. I never encountered that in my life before.
I found it was very movie like. It was almost like stepping into a movie.
Yeah. I've only saw those kind of things in the movie, but now I have to, actually have one, and actually learn how to use it.
The yellow school bus is another one that I found as well.
Yeah,
That was pretty
yeah,
funny. That
right.
is the school bus.
So a funny story about me using a locker. It's like, so the first day I got into school, I got a piece of paper. It tells me my combination for the locker, but I don't see a lock with number I can put in. So I don't know what to do with my combination. I went up to a classmate. I don't know how to call it. Probably
Yeah,
no, he was
classmate.
younger. Yeah, he was younger than me, but anyway, I gotta call him classmates now. Um, he showed me how to use that, like in 5 seconds. He just three combinations in, and then
Oh, so it's
it just
those
opened up.
round ones, yeah, where you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to
it's
dial
the
it
round ones.
back
Yeah,
and
yeah,
forth.
yeah. It's like this. It's just like a save. So I didn't know how to use it at all. Like I got three combinations on my piece of paper, but I can't use it. I can't find any use of it.
Because you have to do, yeah, twist it around three
Yeah,
times and
but
then back the other way once and then straight to
yeah,
the
yeah,
other
yeah.
number.
After he unlocks my locker, I was like, how do you even know that?
You're a
Like, how do
magician.
yeah, like how do you even know? Like, for example, the first combination you go right. Why don't you go left? I was like, I have so many questions, but thank you. I was gonna be late, but thank you though.
Well, thank goodness you could get into your locker and lock your stuff.
Oh yeah. So I got a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like so I got the books and those textbooks are, the hard shells. It's like heavy. It's like I don't know, 5 kilos, around 5 kilos. It's just in one book, and it's like heavy on my hands, in my backpack, all the stuff, and I don't know. I'm gonna be late. I'm in a rush, but I got so many things to put in my locker. Yeah, because I did some homework myself. Like I shouldn't be, having all the books with me to the class because that's gonna take up a whole bunch of spaces. And especially there are some classroom they got the chair and the table the chair and the table like
The
for
little
one
foldable
person.
table
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
is
the
attached
foldable
to the
ones.
chair.
Yeah, so there's not gonna be a whole bunch of space for you. So I do know I gotta put other classes stuff in a locker. But at the same time I was like struggling to open that. And that makes me look so stupid at the moment. I was like, somebody help.
Did you feel like you fit in okay in the US?
So the first few weeks are just, people when they see new students, they kind of, I don't know, they're so willing to talk to me, like especially I'm from a different country. So they want to know my culture and know what I'm like. And I do appreciate so many of them. They're so nice to me. They help me around join all the different kind of, group of people. And but I feel like um there are some people they show some unfriendly side which I kind of just ignores and avoid contact with them. But
What do you mean by that?
because I think some people, I don't know if that's because my color or my hair color, eye color, different kind of stuff, but I do feel like there are sometimes um some people are unwillingly showing some sign to me because I mean from the looks it's like I feel like I'm being seen unfriendly. And I don't know how to describe that because
Almost like a look to it's kind of repelling you, that sort of fending you
yeah
off as
I
not
I
necessarily a threat, but just being just sort of like, hey,
yeah,
you're a bit different.
it's not like they came up to me and say something rude. I mean, that happened too, but I mean, I take that as a joke sometimes because I do understand that some people have different kind of understandings on respecting others.
I think just to add to that a little bit more, especially I would say in Beersford, South Dakota, I think a
Yeah.
lot of people in that Midwest area, South Dakota specifically, don't necessarily know much about the rest of the world. And that's a pretty big sort of blanket statement, which is
Yeah.
not doesn't apply to everyone. But I
Yeah.
just think that there's a very more tight knit focus more on local community as opposed to the globe worldwide.
Yeah, I understand that, there are some people they don't like me just because my, my face probably, but I do feel like I can do a lot of things against that because, you know, people don't necessarily like me, but if I do something bad or if I trying to talk more, or even do it in a peaceful way, it might not end up well. So I didn't really have a choice. And what I was thinking was, it happens. It didn't really get to my feelings that at the moment, but couple hours later, I feel kind of frustrated feeling inside.
Very difficult situation, and that's some real
Yeah,
culture shock in a way where it's you are
but
because of
yeah,
your different background. There's a real polarity there.
yeah. I understand that people like that exist, but I still really like the place, like the whole South Dakota, because I went to different city all the time, and from like I said, Beersherd, or sometimes even went to Vermilion for the games in USD, right?
Yeah.
The University of South Dakota. And then I hang out with people for the first year, the second year, or the third year in college. So it's like I've been to places, but the experiences are great. But I also understand things like that happen, so I can't just always put that like in my mind. I gotta forget that and let it go.
For sure.
It happens.
Yeah. And you seem to be very understanding of that, which is great. And
Right.
what was the progression from after you finished that time on exchange? You said that you stayed. Did you just stay in South Dakota, or did you have to come back to Taiwan first?
Oh, I had to. It's like written in the contract, so I had to go back to this. I had to come back to Taiwan first after that school year.
And then
That's
did you
like,
just go straight back?
yeah. So I went back. I think I made the decision in Taiwan with my friends, like because we had 1 year for exchange in the US, but if we want to continue our studying like as a high school students in Taiwan, that year doesn't count. So we still got 2 more years in high school to
So you were
finish.
behind a year then because you went to
Yeah,
the US.
yeah. So I gotta study the year under my year I was in Taiwan. So we were like, having a group discussion. Would be like all the exchange student that year. We're in a huge group call, and we just be like deciding, hey, if you want to study in Taiwan, you do you understand that we gotta study the year under. We're wasting 1 year now.
So so that's kind of funny. Did you then think, "Oh, we're already behind. Let's just get more behind and go back to the US?"
That's exactly what we made the decision, and we
Almost just like
decided,
following a different path because since you were behind all your friends back in
yeah,
Taiwan, you just decided, well, we'll just change paths. We're just going to complete our
we,
studies
we,
in the US then.
yeah, we decided that right at the moment we are in the group chat, and then we in a call we just be like talking, because there's actually a lot of people that was exchanged in South Dakota. So there were like at least 5 or 6 of us in South Dakota that year. And yeah, they're all Taiwanese. And we'd be like making decision, be like, we type this thing called +1. +1 means that you're in, like, for example, if you're going out for a dinner, for a movie, in a group chat, you just be like, hey, at probably 8 p.m. at the whatever square, or the department store, and for one movie, and if you want to come, type +1, and then there's going to be a whole bunch of +1 underneath from different people, so that means they're in.
That was quite a big Taiwanese community then in
Yeah, yeah,
South
yeah, yeah,
Dakota.
yeah. So at the moment that we had this decision that we're gonna have like somebody studying in South Dakota to finish their high school year, like whole bunch of +1 just underneath. But I mean, I do understand that studying abroad costs a lot. I believe you understand too. As a student in being a college student in the U.S., just it means paying a whole bunch of money, but might not be able to graduate. Like for example, I didn't finish that, I dropped out. And I mean, if there's a chance in the future, I probably continue, but for now I'm still not sure about that.
Yeah, right.
But for
So just to sort of bridge the gap between when you went to college and finishing off high school, did you go back for another 2 separate years of exchange then?
So the second year, it wasn't on an exchange. It's like international students. So we get the
So what's
J1
oh, you got the J1 visa.
visa.
Okay.
We got the J1 visa for exchanging. So that allows us to do different kind of things. I think if we want to, we can sort of do like particular jobs because of the different kind of visa. But for the visa we get for being an exchange student, it's called F1. And for the F1, you're just basically being a student. So you can't really work. I mean, you can still work, find some jobs, but like those works are either on campus or, those works that, not under the what's the thing?
They have to be internships and things
Yeah,
related to your major.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
So,
F1 is the most common, I believe. I mean, I was on an F1 visa, so it
right.
meant I could study at college for 4 years. I could continue working in the States afterwards, but
Yeah,
I'd have
yeah.
to work in my field, and it was only for another year or so.
Yeah, so I think there was that one class that, the IPO teachers gonna like, inform us that what jobs we can do and different kind of things
So
like that.
what did the J1 visa allow you to do?
I think J1's like, for the, working requirement wise, it's like lower. You don't have to do stuff to uh you don't have to pick a job that's related to your major or your profession. But at the moment, I was trying to be a student and uh, uh understand more culture as I could. So like I didn't really think about getting a job or
Yeah,
stuff like that.
why work when you don't have to?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Okay,
So
so
I
then
think
when you're finishing off in South Dakota, what was that transition like to college?
at the moment I didn't really know if I want to still stay in South Dakota, like finish my high school year. Um, I was like thinking, one part of me is thinking I want to go to a bigger place, like probably Chicago, probably Minnesota, or even maybe to LA probably. But at the moment, my sister was in LA, so that was like one of the most reliable decision. But I mean, I'm glad I stayed because like even though South Dakota is a smaller places, I have so many friends here, and people are nicer in general. Like for example, if I go to a bigger city, there are gonna be more diversity of people, but they don't know me. They don't necessarily have a space to know me. For example, when I was in Augie, when I was at Augie, like the first week we had this thing, the talent show and the welcome week, and then the what's that? I had this performance on the stage. I sang "Mine" from Betsy, and then it got me so many different kind of fans because
So you sang at the talent show in front of all the new
I
incoming
I did
students.
I did like
Really?
Yushi and and Jasmine. They kind of talked me through, and they just kind of persuade me to help them because there weren't as many performances they need. So I say yeah, I'm just gonna do it. And then I tried because there were many times that back then it was like the first day they told me, and the second day there's the performance. There was the talent show, so I didn't have much time to prepare for that. So I just got up there and then do what I could.
That's nerves of steel right there, to have the guts to sing in front of all
Yeah,
these new people who you don't know
I know.
and who are
I
going
probably
who are going to be your classmates for the next 4 years or so. So
I
if you don't do a
I
good
probably
job,
saying
well, maybe there's a bit riding on that.
I know. I probably saying horrible. I've been thinking that moment for a lot of times in I don't know, whatever nights.
Well, Jerry, I think it must have gone well because you didn't have a shortage of friends at college.
I I know that's sort of weird to say, but there that I think the end of the welcome week, there's like I don't know, people just be like out on the campus. Like I was trying to go to the gym from two because I lived there, and that walk to the gym took me like couple hours because whenever I walk up there and people just stop me, be like, "Hey, are you Jerry? Are you Jerry that sing the song on the talent show?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, that was me." And then people, I mean, we just start introducing each other, and then I tell them, "Yeah, I'm Jerry," and people asking my real name, where I'm from, and stuff like that. And I repeated that 10, 20 times, but I was so sorry because I couldn't remember most of the names.
There you go.
There
You
were
just
so many people.
That explains all the fame that you had at Augustana. It started right from
I
the beginning with your singing. Well done.
I know. I know. At the same time, I didn't really hesitate to make new friends because I know I like that. And um I don't know. I was nervous at the same time because there was this uh it's the first time in my life that so many people know me, and they're they're kind of just strangers. Being honest, they're strangers to me, but they know me. What I don't know. I feel like everyone knows me, but I don't know them.
That's fame, baby. That's fame.
That
So,
that's just
Jerry, what
mhm,
was your college experience like?
fun. I gotta say it's actually overwhelming because there were so many experiences that I don't know. A lot of people couldn't even experience in once in their lifetime. I think because from what I know, because is I also came back to Taiwan for college for a short amount of time, and I met few friends, and I mean they did have their highlights in high school or different kind of places, but they always tell me this one thing that they want to come to my place and drink with me because I always tell them about so many different kind of interesting stories. For example, like those stories I came to the States about I came to the States and I drink a whole bunch, and then what I see on the party, and also about like joining the cross country team and winning a game that we thought we couldn't, and being on a basketball team and watching people play volleyball together and all the stuff like that. Those things they've never experienced, but when I was around them with them, I can tell them like they were there. So they always tell me that they want to come to my place and drink with me and have fun because of all these experience. And I I don't know. I feel like that makes me a little bit more special than others. And but I do know that there are so many different things that out there I still don't know. I still, looking forward to experience them.
So specifically, what at Augustana what experiences did you enjoy the most?
I would like to say all the staying up late at night because I think 7 days a week I couldn't I can find like 10 days I didn't stay up late. Like either for writing an essay, for writing lab reports with only myself in the basement till the morning, or either, to the party house to tennis to whatever parties. And but also those late nights, like the Almond Center, they just, they hold they hold all the perfect parties. Like, for example, my favorite was the Halloween ones. I think they
The
had this
haunted
whole,
house.
yeah, the haunted house. They clear out the second floor, I think, the whole second floor to be
They
to
did the whole
you know
building.
yeah. So basically, only the track and the volleyball basketball courts are for all the activities. There are this thing. What's that thing? You can get a goldfish, and a live real goldfish. I think Brittany got one, and that's like that's like her pets on campus, which is so cute. Yeah, and we can also play volleyball there. Yeah, at the volleyball club is one of the best memories
We did
too.
lots of that. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great fun.
I love that. I still remember I could do jump serve back then, but now I'm just not fit. I got so fat.
Bring back volleyball club, I reckon. Got to get back for
Yeah.
some more hits together with the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I mentioned, when I got back to Taiwan, I also did few 1.5 year of college in Taiwan, and I did computer science, which it's called, what's that called? Information management. It's called management in Taiwan, but in US it's called computer science. But we have this volleyball club too, but it's only specifically for informational management. So only this major can join this club. And I still remember that, we had this rule that we cannot, spike the ball to a female player. And that's to protect them because they might not be as good as guy. I mean, I understand that, but it should be, if you don't want to play with the guys, you can go play in
You
another
go play on
field.
another
Like,
court, but we're all business here.
yeah. So we back in the States, we all play together, and some volleyball players, or some female volleyball players, are even better than
Yeah,
me.
there's a
So
lot of good female volleyball players in the
I
US
know
because
there's
that's one of their main sports that they like to play
yeah,
during high
they're
school.
they're too good, and I didn't realize that kind of difference when I got back to Taiwan. So I was like confused, like, why are we doing this here? And then I mean, I sort of understand that probably playing few rounds because I mean, people people do like volleyball, but sometimes it's other people playing too well that stops them from playing volleyball. So I kind of understand this, and there are different kind of way to spread volleyball.
Guess that's what made volleyball club good because not everyone was super great, but we're all good enough where we were just willing to play with anyone and just have a good time. So we've talked a lot about the experiences at college, but what about the classes? How were they? How did you find them?
So for my FYS, I remember Dr. Gerling. He's like the best. He is. Oh no, it's like a blessing. I could go to his. I could went to his class, and so for my FYS, it's like the subject was the sanity one. It's around that the whole should I say the word? It's just like around poop. So how our poops, um, you know, in our life works. It's like,
It was the
for
whole life
example,
cycle of it, wasn't it? I remember reading about
yeah,
that class. Yeah.
yeah. So, the whole system of this thing is way bigger than you can imagine. Because, for example, for the sewage system, it could go under a whole city for back in few hundred years ago. Like, for example, for London, back in the time, it's like all stinking outside. Like, people have like a bucket of pee or poop mixed. They just like threw outside the window, and it's on the street, but it's never going down the drain, but because the drain is too old and it's all plugged, stuff like that. And also what goes under the toilet, like where it goes to and how it's gonna be processed, all the stuff. And also about the whole system in third country world. It's like we can't imagine a place like that because it seemed common by us. But back in the third country world, they didn't even have toilets, so they had this room. It's like a room with nothing, and there's gonna be people outside charging money for people to go in to use their bathroom, but there's no toilet in it. They just pee or poo on the floor, and few hours in few hours people just go in and use the water to just wash it away. But that's not viewed by us as a toilet.
Well, I think
And
we definitely take the whole toiletry sanitation system for granted. I think it
yeah,
seems like a really interesting class to broaden that perspective. But
hey,
specifically about Dr. Gerling, what made him so good?
like how amazingly Dr. Gerling can combine all these things in one class, that he makes us feeling like talking about the dumps could be also a really fun thing to do, because normally when people think about it, it's gonna be like really disgusting and weird feeling to do so. But there was these few many times I can understand in class that what Dr. Gerling is doing, like for his whole life, is just so important for everyone to understand it. Like it's a weird thing, but people do poop.
It's a very important issue, and it's a huge, well, it's kind of, yeah, just a natural part of all our lives.
Yeah, everyone does it, so we shouldn't be holding back from talking about it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So what about the chemistry classes that you were taking?
No, I mean, so like I said, I was chem major, but before that I was bio major. And so for the first year, for the freshman year, either way, for bio major or chem major, you gotta take bio whatever 101 or 10 whatever.
The entry level class.
Yeah, you gotta take bio and chem class both, whatever major you are. But me and my other friends, international friends, including like Sasha, Emily, Brittany, whatever, my friends,
Shout out to the
we had
gang.
chat. Yeah, we shut up. But we had a little chat about, hey, how are you doing in this class? And we'd be laughing, be like, I'm doing okay, but actually not okay. So that's like very interesting thing.
What do you think the most difficult part about that was?
So for the biology, because I was on totally different end with others, because they all of them, all my friends, they said they did better on biology class, but chem class they're struggling. Me, on the other hand, totally different. I'm doing quite okay, and I'm I think I was over 90%. I got over 90% on chemistry, but like for biology, I'm almost fail. I did so bad. Yeah, so I was on a totally different end with my friends, and that's sort of telling me, that's like a sign to me that I should probably switch major and give it a try. And which I, at the moment, I think I was doing the right thing.
Yeah, go
And
just play to your strengths, and obviously if
yeah,
you're a little bit better at things, you may enjoy it a little bit more. Chemistry, still maybe a little bit dry, but again, it sort of leads to
yeah,
more opportunities. You only spent a year at Augustana. did you finish up in the spring of 2020?
I did finish the spring, and but the I mean, yeah, I finished the spring, and I came back the during March of 2020 because the of course the coronavirus hits, and it's a huge pandemic, and the school decided to just go online, and I came back to Taiwan on March. But I mean, online is really a hard time. I mean, of course everyone understand how online works and how it had really huge influence as a student. And I mean, I had to, for taking a class, I had to, be 12 hours earlier. And that means when we're having a class in the morning in the US, that
Just
I'm doing
completely
it at the
flipped.
midnight. Yeah. I'm doing it at midnight, and probably 2 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm staying up trying to take classes and do all my works.
Yep, that's
But
exactly what happened to Max and I when we went home. Because our time zones, I think, we're 3 hours apart, but yeah, it's completely flipped to the US. So making
right,
those classes was very difficult.
I know, yeah, I totally understand that. And also, as a very collective member of family, we also got morning things to do. So like my family, they thinks the whole family on a eating in the same table is like of a thing to do. So they always want me to show up in the morning for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, whatever. So I either been sleeping for 1 or 2 hours, and I gotta be woken up and be like, hey, you should come to dinner, Jay, just join us. And I was like,
Oh, I just
can I
finished class.
can I say no? Can I say no? I still got more sleep to catch. Yeah, and also they just always come up to me, be like, hey, we're going somewhere, do you want to join us, or stuff like that. And most of the time they wouldn't ask, they just assume that I'm going with them. But I just most of the time I gotta say sorry, I still got more things to do, and exams, and assignments.
Yeah, the online schooling was not a great experience. But you after that, you finished off that semester online back in Taiwan and you
Right.
made the call not to go back to the US?
Yeah, because I think at the moment in the US, I think the corona thing, I mean, it's still going on, but more people got vaccinated, and I think school made the decision that feel that they think the whole situation is like a level lower, so they start getting students back on campus to to take in-person classes. And they also still have the online lesson method going, but the classes they offer are like only around 10 or 20% compared to the former semester. So that's what kind of stopped me, because if I'm still taking classes online, I mean, yeah, sure, I can take classes online, but there's not gonna be as many choices as I can get. So I made the decision to just withdraw.
I think that's a very important point that you are making because there wasn't going to be that community element where you could hang out with your friends in the dorm rooms and go to
Right,
class
right,
with large
and
amounts of people. It was just better to stay at home, which
right,
I think is very powerful because that really shows, and what I believe is one of the greatest parts of college is
right.
being surrounded by lots of diverse people and lots of other people who are going through very similar things to you with the studies and just the time in their life.
Yeah,
So without
totally.
that, it almost doesn't seem worth it. In your case, it wasn't.
Right. And also another thing I had to mention was so about the writing centers, and also there's gonna what's that called? I forgot the word, but there were like our classmates with but I don't know. Also, chem major students who are 1 year, 2 years older than us, and they of course learn more, and they had this like cram section that they helps us
Tutoring
about
sessions.
yeah, those tutor things. And like I said, also we can still like arrange the online meeting with our professors, but I mean it's like an hour. I mean, if we need more, we could have more scheduled, but time might not work as well. And also there are so many resources that we cannot be using. It's like I don't even know if they still have writing center thing going online. And as a non-English native speaker student, it's super hard for me to had a valid um valid essay to hand out to my professor, because I mean, even though I feel like I wrote something good or acceptable, but still there are gonna be like astrophies or the uh wording stuff, and I
It's
gotta rearrange
punctuation and
the
grammar. It is good to
yeah
get someone else to check that.
I yeah, like for example, I haven't been using English for like so long here, and yeah, I think yeah, of course you can tell like I can really talk really fluently,
I can't
but
tell at all. I think you're doing great.
thank you. And yeah, at the moment I was like writing a whole bunch of essay, writing a whole bunch of lab reports, but I couldn't find someone to kind of help me to look through if there's any kind of error, or if there's like it fits the formats. For example, ALA, or I was taking the psychology because it fits the format, whatever. So that was like the huge part for me to say no, to say it's time to stop. So yeah, and
It's
also
a
at
tough
that
call to
time,
make.
yeah. So that time I just feel like whenever it's like uh the the pandemic goes like uh a bit acceptable, then I'll probably go head back to Augie. But I think my family sort of wish me to continue to stay in Taiwan because it's just safer. And then they try to talk me into studying in the university in Taiwan. And I
Yeah, no,
mean, it did.
that makes a lot of sense. And is it would I be right in saying this? Does it have anything to do with your immune system disease that you mentioned earlier on that affects your joints? Does that play into
And
this at all?
that could be part of it, because I discovered I had this kind of disease when I was in middle school, and
Were you
they've
in
been
Taiwan or in the US at that
I
point?
was in Taiwan,
Okay.
and then it's always been a worry to them. But like when I got to US, and I've been doing a whole bunch of like sports, and I kind of living well, and that makes them feel kind of better, I think, in different kind of ways, even though they can't see me, but I'm telling them I'm doing great.
You're
I'm
living a nice
my body's
lifestyle,
fit.
being fit,
Yeah,
getting active.
yeah. But like they also they still like deep down in their mind, they still want me to be like around them, so they can see me if they wanted to.
Does that disease have a name?
It's called ankylosing spondylitis.
Right, that's quite a
So
mouthful.
yeah, so that can go shorter to only the AS. So that thing could worsen to another thing which I don't know what's called, but potentially I'll probably in a wheelchair if it goes really bad.
Right. Well,
But for now I'm doing great.
that's really serious.
Yeah, I
And
know.
hopefully it doesn't get any worse. But I want to ask how that had an effect on you at your with your time in the US and all the studying and just the whole lifestyle of both high school and college.
Yeah, so I think it's like I'm feeling tired like all the time. Like even though I just, I had for 8 hours, 10 hours sleep last night, I can still be like, feeling tired the next morning and wake up. I feel like I'm like for example, if I'm a battery myself, it's like my maximum storage is only like 60%. So other people's got a 100, I got 60% to go down to, and it's like I can't really feel like all energetic and powerful and stuff. I feel like I am always, that's the like I said, those are outside things, but inside, my mindsets are, I don't know. I just always look for the best side of things, honestly. But I'm still changing that because I understand that that's gonna have a really huge and bad influences on myself. I I always got yelled at because my friends think I'm you know being very emotional all the time, and they say it's like in a really best situation for a person, like not even just for me, even for your friends or people who care about you around you. And I do understand that I don't want to bring all the negativities I have to others. So the compared to me myself keeping all the negativity to myself, why not just eliminate all the negativity thoughts I have with myself? Then everyone's gonna be happy. So I'm still dealing with that now because there are so many different things that can make people go negative. But I think everybody's gotta find a way to deal with it, and even through different kind of ways. For example, me taking boxing lessons, that's helping me a lot. And some people do it, by doing workouts or going to exercise, or talk just by talking to other like friends. It could help too. So it's, I don't know, it influenced me a lot in different area, different parts of me, but I'm still trying to make all the influences like not as much as it was before.
Right. Well, that's very selfless of you to try and make the best of the situation and try and give as much energy as you have, even though maybe that is only a 60% tank.
Yeah.
And I think I remember there was a few times in the US where you did seem a bit low on energy, and I don't know if we ever talked about this while we were there, but I think I heard it one way or another, something about that sometimes Jerry just doesn't have the as much energy as the rest of us.
Yeah.
But so you did incredibly well to deal with that.
Yeah, thank you. But I don't know. I feel I could still, improve better. And one feeling I have is about that I only have like one each person, everyone living, they only got 24 hours in a day in their life, and however many days they have in their life, but 24 hours a day. And I already have I only have those time, but I still don't feel like in those time I can manage to have enough time to to social with my friends, to take care of my friends, people I care, or even myself. So why not just stop, wasting all the time just being emotional by myself? That's what I thought. And uh wait, like I think it's just different kind of thinking for me, because when I was on campus, there was this kind of this thing I had in high school, because me and my ex-girlfriend, and it was super weird because I still put a lot of effort and time to hang out with my friend in high school, and didn't turn out as well. So that kind of also, you know, uh, influenced me at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Well, it's very challenging for you, and well, you've got the right attitude for it, so I guess 10 points to you, and hopefully you can just keep managing how you can. I have a photo that I want to bring up. This is one of my best memories sharing with you. This was, do you want to tell me about this event?
Oh, oh, wait, is that called that's the dance? Oh,
I think
okay.
it was just the school formal. I think it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the
yeah.
first
It's a
time
small.
Augustana threw one, I think.
What? That's the first one?
But that's a photo of whole bunch of international students, and
I
it
know.
was pretty simple, just in a barn somewhere, and we had just some dancing and some food. It was a whole heap of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I remember that's like, yeah, that's really a bar. Yeah. And I remember it was great. Oh my God. Like I was thinking, yeah, my hair was long that time. And it looks weird
You had
because
it tied up.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's I remember yeah, it was Yushi and I I was like one day we were just in Walmart and we were at Walmart and we just be like thinking, hey, well, we're getting grocery, but I just like we're kind of bored, but we want to do something. And we went to that area that we can get all the, shampoo and all the dyes and shower gels thing. But when we walk through the dye and I'd be like, hey, do you want to dye my hair?
Oh, you dyed your hair. That's right. Oh my god.
so so we bought the bleach and we bought the dye and then we went back to Wish's storm room and then it just like we got everything set up and they started bleaching my hair and yeah, Jasmine was there too. And it was just so much fun because like I don't know what's gonna happen. They don't know too. So we just kind of having the experiment on my hair. And then yeah, it breached. It did work and it looks golden and
Yeah, it looked
perfect.
great. So you did that purposely just for that event?
No, no, no. That
Or you
was
just did
like
that
earlier.
because you could?
Yeah. Yeah, that was like way earlier.
So much fun. That was a super fun night at the formal.
I
And I'm
know the
just
FOMO.
looking at your overall experience at Augustana, Jerry. If there's a letter grade that you would give that experience, what would it be?
I think everyone should enjoy the moment and for by saying that I didn't mean that you should forget your past or stuff. It's like you can imagine what's gonna happen next in your life and the moment you're going through either good or bad, it could also have really huge influence in the future and just I think take every decision very 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 wisely and you can go to your friends and talk about that. You can go to whoever your mentor is, but I think if you're having a hard time, you can make through it, and when you probably years go by and you look back, it could be so much different on you, and it's all gonna be a good memory after all. So that's basically it.
That's great advice. And
Um,
if you could give that summary a grade, A, B, C, D, E, F, what would you give it?
it's gonna be an it's gonna be an it's gonna be an A for sure because I mean probably S tier. I gotta go
S tier,
higher.
the step above.
Yeah, it's like I gonna say that changed myself like a lot because I
In what
couldn't
ways?
yeah like I couldn't imagine if I grew up in Taiwan, if I never went on exchange, if I never study abroad, then what kind of journey it would be when I'm an adult. I'll be only knowing, how to study, and I'm still, I'm trying to, run away from studying, even though I have to. Then I'll probably be, kind of a person that cannot handle stuff because I always try to run away from things I don't like. But there are so many things that you don't like in life. So, um, I can't imagine what kind of person I would be, but going out abroad, I gotta live on my own, and I gotta make all the decision myself, do the laundry myself. I gotta think about what I'm gonna eat tonight, all these kind of easy things. Like it might be easy in life, but if you can learn how to make all the decisions by myself and, schedule all your time and arrange everything. That's like a huge ability already, because I've seen a lot of people that, can't get their life together, which is like, still, I mean, no harsh on them, but still gotta, do better. And sometimes I find myself in that situation too. I just, collapse sometimes. I gotta pick myself up. And it's like, I feel like ability to be other person normally is already a huge thing. So can also be proud of yourself sometimes, like that.
Very wise words. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And you actually decided, it must have been when you got back home to Taiwan, you started studying again, but you decided, nah, you know what? I don't want to finish my degree. I just want to start working.
Right.
When we talked this time last year, I think you're working in the kitchen, and you've since moved on, and now you're working with your parents.
Yeah. So the whole mindset changed between these three time area, from, still studying information management and working in kitchen and working for my family. And yeah, it changed a lot because different kind of things go by. Like, for example, I had enough about studying information management. So I feel like I should start working, because I don't want to be, living on my family. So I feel like I gotta do something myself. And that's why I go to a kitchen. I go work there. I learn stuff I like. I like cooking. I like meal prepping and all the stuff. Like, I learned so many things there, even though those things I could also study on my own, and I can, learning on my way. Like, for example, watching YouTube videos or buying recipes, all the stuff. But I still feel like I gotta do it on my own to, in order to get a better first-hand knowledge of it. So there's also so many things that in the industrial that people don't know, and people can learn it from, online or on books. So that's why I decided to join the whole industry. I started working in the kitchen. I, spend like around 10 hours there. I work hard. I do all the works that people don't want to do. And that's why I learned a lot. And also I like that job, but like, for example, they didn't pay me high enough. So that's one of the reason I feel like I should probably find another
Time to
job,
move
like
on.
either stay in a kitchen, but in another one, or working in a different area, because I am still like me right now. I'm 23. I'm still young, and I can still learn different kind of stuff if I want to. And at the moment, there was this time I was still working in the kitchen, and my parents called me. They asked me if they can, schedule me a time to, go out to have a meal together. So only me with my parents, three of us. And it's like really rare that we do so, because at the same time, my sister was still in Taiwan, and now she's in Shanghai. So it's just a meal, me with my parents talking about my future, because they feel like they want me to work in the family business, so they can kind of, I mean, one way to say that is because they need more person, because as the business is going bigger and bigger, they find the shortage of hands in a company, so they kind of want me to do the jobs. But another reason is because that they want me to also, to form another ability, for example, for, doing the paperwork and all the stuff like that, for, what I'm doing right now. Yeah, and I kind of understand that, and they sort of they talked me into thinking that, we're gonna have like a real coffee shop, a cafe, or a restaurant and stuff like that. And that's what got me into. But right now we're still, planning on that. But right now I'm still doing all the paperwork and all the different stuff. And
So what business do they have?
So for the family business, it's like printer, like printing company. So it's a factory that we make all the package for example, the luxury stuff, the wines or the cosmetic stuff or the medicine, the different kind of stuff. For example,
So you
we
print all the labels and that sort of thing.
yeah, for like either on paper, on PET, the plastic things, or we have different kind of special effects to make it look shiny, and it had different kind of pressure labeled on it. So anyway, it looks fancy, really fancy, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's
it sounds like a great business, and I
yeah,
think your parents came to you because seemingly you'd be a
yeah,
good fit to do all the job. And what you
yeah.
were telling me just before we started recording was that you're doing a lot
So
of the work, doing a whole
yeah,
bunch of different pieces. You've been
mhm.
learning a lot as
So
well.
that's like a one part, and then but they want me to do the part that is like I said, we sell the gift box for like coffee and tea, and we also have different kind of products that's like a notebook, and it's like a mug, a sticker and a bag, different kind of things. So we have so many things that we're selling, and it's actually a lot of different kind of jobs that I do because like I said, I had to manage all the numbers in the stock, and I have to do all the numbers go through, and I also have to reply online for the customer services, all the different stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's a lot, and all that experience is great. And I'm sure it's going to serve you well. Is there
yeah.
any particular job or future career that you're striving towards?
So I forgot if I told you about this. I think not because
I don't think
uh
so, no.
yeah. So I remember Max. He was streaming for a while on Twitch, and he was streaming the what's that called, Call of Duty. I believe so, and he streamed for a while, but I've been watching Twitch for I don't know a few years already, 3 4 years. Yeah, just by the time I got back, and then that's like one way that I made a lot of friends I have right now, because they just have this one community thing going, and I met them, each of them on different kind of like channel, and I mean they means a lot to me because they 3 4 years ago, it's like at my very down moment. I wasn't doing great at all, and I mean I met them, and we kind of go through the whole pandemic thing a lot because it did struck the economy very badly, and I think everyone's going through the hard time together, and that's why me and my friends I made on Twitch, it's like we're so close to each other. And so for now, I am thinking about some industry that can probably connect the real life and the Twitch together. So if possible, I'm trying to come up with like a restaurant. It's a mixture of restaurant or and a bar, or maybe a cafe even. So it could be like a space for those channel to have a time together inside.
So for the
So
online communities to meet up in person and
yeah,
become
yeah,
more
yeah,
of a
the
tight
meetup
knit
place.
community. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have try to if possible, I want to be the person that try to connect the online to the real life. I want to be helping to form this community together. Yeah,
Awesome.
that's
Well,
the key.
you're a community man. You've all throughout the stories you've been sharing with me just now, all just connecting with people in South Dakota, just being around friends. I mean,
Yeah,
it seems
I
like a great
mean,
job for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try, but right now I'm still, forming my ability to work on different stuff, and if possible, that's the thing I want to do. And I mean, I did try streaming for for a while, but I don't feel like I'm the one for that.
Right,
So
okay. But yeah, I mean, like you've just mentioned, there's other ways to be involved with that. And I think it would be interesting to talk about if, since you didn't actually finish with a degree,
yeah, right.
would you think, do you think that you actually do need a degree to pursue any sort of career path, or do you think you can just get straight to work and learn on the job?
Well, I mean, for the thing I said, like, forming the community for Twitch audience and channel, I think it doesn't require me to have a degree, but um, there are only different kind of like abilities you need. Like for example, like um the there are so many kind of different letters you're gonna write to like either the channel or to the community, or arranging the rules for for different stuff, because some channel owner, they don't want to be be interrupt like privately. So there are so many rules still to run through, and there's just I think I think through working experience it can be improved a lot. And otherwise I don't think uh, uh, a degree is like required. But if I'm working for others, like for a business, for whatever shop, I think the college degree is like still a very important thing in Taiwan, because um, college is like very cheap in Taiwan, and relatively to the United States. So
Do you think it's more of a
mainly,
way, if you have a degree, it's more of a
yeah,
way to get in the door and maybe climb the ladder, the corporate ladder,
yeah,
a little bit easier?
yeah, because I think for the percentage, it's probably around 60, 70 of those younger people that they got a degree. Because like mostly people are, if you go to high school and you ask their 12th grader or whatever, you just go into a school and ask that what do you want to do after you graduate in high school, then they're gonna answer you that go to college and stuff like that. But they probably don't even know what major they're gonna go in. But of course they want to go in college because it's another 4 year that they have time to think about what they want to do in the future. Like if you ask me in middle school or high school, I'd probably answer the same.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that for many countries, I think it is still very much an assumed pathway is to, once you finish high school, go to college and get a degree. So I'm interested to really just dial in this question, Jerry. If you could ask, or if you could talk to your younger self before you started college, would you have gone, knowing now that you didn't end up using the degree?
Oh, so I would wanna say just get your mind together and figure out one thing to do, just only one thing. Because I do know that different time period that people take different information from outside, and um if you keep letting all the different things that probably not even relevant to yourself, then you're gonna be all mixed up together, and you can really focus and think for even just one thing. So what I hope I could do was I probably should have just focused on one thing and stick with it no matter what. Because if you've been, yeah, for example, I think, I always think too much. So if I only been thinking and I haven't been actually doing it, it's like stopping me from doing anything, like even just one thing, simple thing.
Well, that's
Yeah,
tricky when you're afforded so many opportunities. It's hard to know which route
Right.
to take. So would
hmm
you, just a simple question then, would you have gone to college in the US?
I would still, yeah. Because one of the biggest regret I have in life is, didn't finish college in the US. It's like things could have been so much different because it's like so much easier that I had a chance to do so. Like, for example, other people, if they want to apply a school abroad, first of all, they're gonna have like a better diploma in any kind of different criteria. For example, I graduated in high school in the United States, but I'm an international student, so they didn't ask me for any English ability exam grades, stuff like that. Like, for example, TOEFL or whatever stuff they require me to take. But if you want to do that as a Taiwanese student who graduated in Taiwanese high school, then it's gonna cost them uh, a lot of money, definitely, and also the tuition and stuff. But I had the chance right there, and I didn't use it properly. So that's like very regretful for me
Well,
as a person.
I mean, you're maybe being a little bit too harsh on yourself, but I think it's just sort of, it is a little bit of victim with circumstance. And I mean, the
Yeah,
pandemic did come and hit, and that has destroyed a lot of
I know.
people's plans and changed everything in a lot of ways. So I mean, I think that by itself did kind of, well, ruin your trajectory to finish college in the US.
Yeah, I totally understand that.
But you'd love
Right.
to go again, and potentially even you still will. You still could
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
finish your degree.
yeah. That's a possibility.
Is that something that you're trying to do?
I mean, going back to school.
Yeah.
One part of me is thinking like, yeah, it's like going apart inside because a part of me is thinking I am already 23, and if I finish it like on time, maybe 27 or 28 by the time I graduated, and I still don't. I'm kind of afraid to go like economically not that stable. So uh one concern I have. But another one is like, can I still like study like I did, because I knew how much effort I put it in. Uh so all the effort I put in, I still have all those kind of energy and that kind of feelings that I am a student, I gotta do what I do? Or would I be thinking, yeah, working is better. I can, pay my pay for my own stuff, and I don't need to worry about, failing a class or not, stuff like that. But I don't
Yeah,
know,
that's fair
it's
enough.
yeah, it's weird. Like, if you're asking a student, then you can probably say, no, I want to drop out. But when you start working, it's all become more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it works out one way or another, and I'm sure even if you don't go back as a student, you'll go back at some point to visit all your friends there and all across the
Yeah.
world. Is there anything else, Jerry, that as we've been talking, maybe popped up and thought it'd be great to share? Open floor.
Um, well, I just want to say, no matter where you're at, like, for example, I don't know, like, probably international students, because no matter you're abroad or you're at home, just you gotta know what you're doing, because there was this time period I didn't really know, and I just going day by day and still wondering what am I doing here? Like, I'm actually doing nothing. So um no, I I think there's one thing that everyone needs to figure out is what you're actually trying to do by what. Like, for example, I'm studying to, get a diploma so I can find better job. Like that's clever, and that's straightforward. But for example, when I got back and I withdrew from the school and I didn't try to do anything and until I apply for another school, I was kind of missed. I was lost, and so I just feel like you're gonna know whatever you're doing, and your destination is where. So you gotta do whatever stuff to achieve to the goal or to your destination, whatever wise.
Yep, pick the goal and go straight for it.
Yeah.
Jerry, thank you so much for coming back to college.
Thank you, Zach. My pleasure.